just play through that, or just go straight up into the Aphelios carry we mentioned earlier for Diablo.
Wow.
Right out the gate here in game 1.
And also denying it from Pays for the rest of the tournament. That's kind of fun. This would be fighting fire with fire. Jinx has been a classic counter. We've mentioned it many, many times.
But do you take the Lulu or do you take the Thresh?
I'd prefer the Lulu. Carrier would probably prefer Tahm Kench because he thinks of it as an engaged support. That'd be kind of fun. But I wouldn't mind any of the three, to be perfectly honest, just making sure that there's a little bit of extra peel for Pays.
I kind of like the Lulu here for Keria because of its empowering of the already incredibly strong Xin Zhao. But Keria is arguably most famed champion of his career, even though the Bard is more recently the new hot for him, is going to be the Thresh they take. And this is a classic, right? The Jinx counter to the Aphelios. We haven't seen it very often because she has been so not meta, not strong, but with the changes to crit, she's incredibly strong on this patch, and players have shied away from her, but Pays is going to pick it up here in game 1. Like, this is usually something you see in game 3, game 4, not game 1 of a Fearless draft. And this is what we saw when I first came into the LCK, when Aphelios was incredibly meta, often even B1'd in some of those drafts. It was like Aphelios Jinx every game. This is pre-Fearless. We saw it all the time.
Oh, es ist eine Standard-Drop von T1.
Aphelios Lulu, the classic battle. We have not seen it as a staple here in a really long time, but the Jinx is usually considered to be the counter because it has the extra range, and that range advantage, especially in the laning phase, is going to feel great. However, with the Lulu on the other side, you have a range support who can harass and offer some additional damage. The Pantheon is really, I think, the X factor here in this draft for BNK because it will have a lot of rotational power. They don't have a strong side lane champion to play through, though, because they're playing through the Rumble, so it's a little bit more about the setup for those team fights and getting the equalizer into position. How Raptor plays this, I think, will define the mid-game here for BNK.
There is so much pressure on Raptor with this draft. Like, it's actually kind of insane. Command Protect is going to really beef him up, as well as the Wild Growth that will be available there. So the Pantheon, getting him into the right position is going to be very, very important. Is she an idol or something?
Yeah, I think so.
That's pretty.
It's hard to tell which one because she's staying a little undercover.
Yeah, she was definitely.
Guck mal, ich habe keine Ahnung, wie du dein Bett geschafft hast. Ich muss die Katzen füttern.
Young Lee is her name.
Oh, from S9. Okay.
S9, there we go. I need to know more about
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I just am not in the know. Too much League of Legends on the brain. And speaking of which, let's get more of an India brain as we get onto the Rift for game number 1, BNK BFX against T1. I was really expecting one of the T1 fans to randomly.
Wann war gestern Schluss? 2:30.
I'm gonna have to hold that thought as Vikler is dying. Faker really wanted to get a bit of extra damage down as Vikler following his minions towards the lane. If this was last year, he'd be able to just go back and it would be fine.
It's not, so he's not. And he is just going to have to play very carefully here. And every single decision he makes, every auto he sends, it's actually really important. Missing that Q, actually quite impactful.
Yeah, this is subpar.
He has a potion, of course, so that will help. And once he hits level 2, he will get a lot of health from that. But in a lot of other matchups, might just lose the lane from that alone. Straight up.
As Clear and Doran laning this one out. Theon has actually been relatively good early on in this lane. As you can see here, Doran laning very aggressively right now. But Clear has been doing just fine. Carrier missing that particular hook as we head down towards this bottom side.
Yeah, Lulu can auto-attack at range.
Hey, so can Thresh, kinda.
Kind of.
I mean, it's not.
Wir hatten so 10 CS abgehen, glaube ich, auf jedes, ne?
It's sort of. It's more than melee.
Gib mal Daumen, hallo, Walu.
Yeah. He's got. It's like he's swinging a towel at you.
Einfach wegen Lulu.
Quite the most threatening thing, but because he misses the hook, you know, that's kind of how this matchup goes. You look for a hook, you miss it, and Lulu's like, all right, well, that's some of your health gone. And
Genau.
that's some more
So 10 CS ab sollten sie gehen.
A good reaction, though, from T1. His owner is going to go for an early gank here.
The good old level.
Okay, Level 3 Gang ist smart. Sehen wir mehr jetzt inzwischen außerdem wieder, ne?
And we've got Raptor nowhere.
Sehen deutlich mehr Level 3 Gangs.
Diablo, I think, has a bit of an idea as to what's going on here, but already Owner comes through and they get the flash through. That is so beautiful from Carrier.
Das war, to be honest, das war ein wunderschönes Glänz, aber auch ein guter Hook.
Not enough summoner spells for this bottom laner.
I hate to say it, but like, this is the second time that's happened 2 days in a row with the winning lane. We saw it yesterday.
Ja, diese Level 3 Gangs sind nasty.
on the bottom duo of D+, in the same situation.
Ja, ich habe es mit dem Draft eigentlich schuld, ich weiß
You're
nicht.
pushing up super far, you don't have any vision, and there's a lot of great follow-up to a Xin Zhao gank here with the Thresh lane. You gotta play more respectfully there. Now both summoners down for Diablo. Dies anyways, and all of the wind is out of the sails here for BNK's bottom duo.
Yeah, this is a disaster, and we know that a Jinx is just going to be able to get better and better as time goes on. Diablo has decided to pick up a cull.
Ja, diese Level 3 Gangs sind schon sehr strong und vor allem die, also wie gesagt, die sind halt wieder mehr kommen auf Botland, das schon ziemlich insane.
That's why he's heading over there to set up a ward, but yikes. That's I don't know what the opposite of ideal is, but it's that.
And now Raptor is looking for a gank onto Faker here. Does get the flash out as the Aegis comes on through. So Vikler is out of the woods just a little. Let's see whether he can actually even out the farm, as Owner is going to move on over and take this Rift Scuttle towards the top side of the map. So it didn't actually impact his clear too much, but is behind by a couple of camps, as we can see.
Yeah. Not going to be the weak side police there.
Corki im F nachher Lucian und war so angewandt. Ah, chillig. Chillig.
Ward there for clear. He's not going to have the same weak point that Diablo and Kellen had. And, you know, obviously a lot of the time you want to be warding for at level 1 in the brushes to make sure that you end up getting the level 2 advantage, so you can push the lane like that. And it is not always going to be a level 3 gank that you expect. It's been much less common recently, but as recently as yesterday and today, you know, if you are going to push that hard, you have to be ready.
Ich würde sagen, ist der beste Champion von Chovy und Faker.
If you're just not going to ward initially, maybe kind of
Also bei beiden wahrscheinlich.
Play more safe.
This is the
Realistisch als bei beiden.
Misreading what the potential level 3 timings could have been on that particular gank, and really good, you know, experimental pathing from Owner as well.
Oh, bei Chovy, ich würde trotzdem Ding sagen. Einfach als bei beiden.
If they do expect it and you don't get anything out of it, the cost is high, right? So it's not on BNK's defense. It is not something that you expect to happen 100% just because you're that far up in the lane.
Yeah. Well, now Carrier is just off to the side here, making sure that he does soak the experience.
Hayes got his Greaves off of this back, so he is ready to fight. He is ready to scrap and trade back a little bit here versus the Cull in terms of items here for Diablo. Feeling very nice for the Jinx.
Well, there's the flash. Let's see whether Vikler can
Oh,
get that shockwave
ist der
down.
abgewichst.
Level 6.
Wow, ist der abgewichst.
Wow.
Also disgusting as fuck von Vikler, aber wow. Ist der Typ abgewichst. Aber wirklich disgusting von Vikler. So insane oder nicht? Oh nein, die Griffins. Okay. Trotzdem worth it.
Now Raptor is going to find Faker trying to make his way back, and there is the orb once again. Faker shifts the stance once more, and the spear does go.
So greedy.
So 1-for-1 in the bottom lane, actually better than I was expecting.
Ist so greedy auf Mitte, ne? Schon mal, Base immer noch nicht. Ich meine, Vikler hat keine Mana für eine Combo.
The Lulu on the bottom side, so not as good as it could have been. Good gravitum there from Diablo, who didn't have flash. Kellen is the one who is going to employ it, juggle some of that.
Ja, es ist trotzdem so ass für Botlane, also für AD Carry.
As Raptor
Vor allem Kill for Lulu halt.
Surviving there, but he does not die, and actually, in fact, stays even in CS. However, 2 plates did go over to Vikla, which will, you know, put him in a pretty significant advantage. Here you can see he also has a slight roll quest advantage as well.
Der ist so lange gestayed. Das ist so krank, ne?
So
lange gesehen, jetzt geht er noch die Wave pushed out.
Trying to desperately get this wave shoved out so that he can go back. Vikler is not seemingly afraid as this huge wave of minions does come towards him. Doran is now burning. Looking for an opportunity. Does have his flash available. The equalizer and the ram just came down. I'm glad that we didn't necessarily have to watch. I imagine that was just an attempted bit of harass with some R buttons.
Yeah, it looks that way. Just no flash employed from either player means doesn't look like they were set up in a way that were really threatening at all. Swifties on the board here for clear, trying to apply that pressure. And we'll see Doran go back. Doesn't have TP though. And it calms down for a second here.
Yeah.
We were kind of going at 100 miles per hour from very early on at 40 seconds in with that gank onto Vikla.
Das wäre damals bei Diablo, also theoretisch nächsten Gang kannst du überleben.
Level 1. We don't have level 1s anymore, so like, what do we say? They took it from us.
It's still a level 1. It's just you have a very short amount of time in order to get that level 1 down. So that was high value.
Er sieht 2 Tode in 7 Minuten, honestly, guter Level 3 Gang und dann gerade guter Dive. Wow. Dive der worth it war.
Things could have gone completely off the rails after what happened in that early game. And FaZe is in a very good spot, don't get us wrong. But there's a, 20 stack advantage on the cull here for Diablo. And this Aphelios will still probably get to pretty dangerous territory in this game. First Drake going to get started up here by T1 though, as they are on a ward. Phalite is lit up there.
Yeah, and Raptor does have his ultimate, but there's not really a great angle to employ it for him, unfortunately. Could try to get into the backline with a wild growth setup if we could see Kellen.
Läuft wieder durch Mitte, damit die Wave so circa 50-50 ist, ne? Interessant. Super interessant, die laufen durch Mitte, geben damit... Wow. 3 Shockwave. Schöne Ulti von Ona. Pace untouched und Diablo hat kein Flash mehr. Oh mein Gott, Pace hat gegrieft. Pace hat komplett gegrieft, oh mein Gott. Ich wollte gerade sagen, es ist eigentlich richtig smart, dass sie durch Mitte gehen. Mit Fresh, damit die Wave halt mindestens 50-50 ist. Und dann gut hören. Aber die Shockwave hat so viel rausgeholt noch.
BNK, they weren't able to secure it, but they do win the longer fight. Because in this initial setup, I was like, okay, they really want to set up Shockwave into a wild growth combo, but T1 play this well. They collapse onto Vikla first. He still gets a Shockwave off, and this hook is huge onto Raptor because it buys some space. If Raptor could get in there and then set up a wild growth post Shockwave, it could have been massive. But Diablo ends up getting the massive ult here with the Infernum, and then is able to swap over to red-white, so he actually is doing massive damage here. They don't have cooldowns anymore. The kill goes over to Paze, or onto Paze, so even though he was excited, he's not able to actually offer that damage through anymore, and the longer fight is won by Diablo. Doesn't pick up any of the kills, unfortunately, either, but now has 3 assists to his name.
Yep, and that gold lead that Paze had for most of the early game is slowly getting smaller and smaller, so to me, it's looking like we've got a bit of a game on our
hands. Yeah, I like
game
it.
Number 1. And I do really like the BNK composition. We were talking before about how they've had
Spotted. Kein Flash ist bei beiden da. Oh mein Gott, sind beide tot oder nicht? Sind beide tot. Nicht so wie von Lulu.
As yeah, Raptor has it charged up. He's in a bit of trouble. The flash from Kellen! Help picks to take the kill.
All right, send him in. And now we really got a game on our hands.
And now Diablo really doesn't have a kill. Like, this is so annoying.
He is going to have a plate additionally here to his name.
Guter Play. Sehr guter Play, honestly. Super guter Play. Ich dachte mit dem Pinkwort wird das nicht so.
Crescendo's ridiculous for taking turret plates as well, so that might be an extra one to be taken down, especially with Raptor in the vicinity to help out. Let's have a look at this one more time.
So, I mean,
wie war das? Pace Flash kam in der Sekunde ab, ne? Der war am Anfang vom Replay, war der Flash noch nicht. Oh mein Gott. Oh mein Gott, diese Nasty. Oh mein Gott. Der hat gerade 195 Gold bekommen.
There may be a bit of a bell curve in terms of us having a game and then not having a game that may be occurring. We may be close to not having a game again, Atlas, just in the other direction.
Oh no, that's true. We need to
Ach du Scheiße, ach du Scheiße. Okay. I mean, konsequent sind sie. Konsequent sind sie auf jeden Fall. Bro, was passiert hier? Das Game ist so high pace. Oh mein Days. Oh mein Days, jetzt rappt er auch noch. Oh mein Days. Nein, nein, nein.
Brings the rumble to the bottom lane, and Paze is going to come over and try and grab the kill, but it is Ona that picks that one up.
I do think in terms of the gold, this ends up evening out pretty nicely.
Also das Game ist super high pace, ne? Also ein Team Kill Bot, dann kommt der Return mit TP Bot und dann kommt wieder ein Play in Mitte, währenddessen Carrier Face Check so ein bisschen on Tempo.
Okay. Yeah, Vikla, the biggest winner here, arguably, because he was able to deny Paze farm and also get additional money there in the.
Okay, so, also Antwort ist quasi, die TP Bot und sagen, okay, wir müssen jetzt Bot killen. Guter Flashplay mit der Asioti.
Mind you, also at the same time, Doran is here, so Plate Gold is going over to clear on this Rumble on the top side while Paze is being denied farm. So yes, they do end up getting the kills here.
Und ein Carrier bekommt Vision währenddessen den Catch halt, Jamo. So, sidesteppt er den Q, dann misst er ihn. Was von beiden ist es? Aber er sidesteppt ihn. Gleich nach vorne. Währenddessen wurde Midlane gezoned. Phil wurde angefüllt und rennt an den.
In this game, I think that's
it does get the flash out of Raptor, which could be important moving later on into the game, but more kills on the Pantheon always feels good. 4, 1, and 2. My goodness,
that was his fourth. Yeah, not his third.
Yeah, that is a lot of gold over to Paze, though, being able to pick up that first death for the Pantheon. And so that's why things are kind of okay here on this bottom side. Moonshot not exactly doing too much as FaZe gets that shield from the Lantern, but Kellen feeling pretty good on this Lulu, and I think Lulu's power level pretty high, and especially when paired alongside these hyper carries that can really get stuff done in the late game.
I'm amazed to hold up FaZe.
Wieder kein Flash.
Comes down, grabbing him, comes on through there, and
oh mein Gott.
he's going to come down, and yeah, there was no room for a Lantern.
Yeah, Diablo is starting to actually get the kills now, too. It's not just getting assists anymore.
Also,
Yeah, that's just straight up not really much.
ey, wenn wir davon so 4 Games bekommen,
The Moonlight Vigil with grab
ey,
set.
warum nicht?
So see you later.
It's a fed Lulu, so that he's got an
4 Games davon voll into Botlane.
Oh my God.
So Diablo may not have any items himself, but thankfully Kellen's built one for him.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's a little bit of extra something. This is going to be the
Plus Toblin auch 800 Gold ahead.
we have a Mountain Soul this game as well. If T1 get that, that would be pretty scary. But same for BNK.
You know, we talked about how much of a game we have here. We don't have like too much game here now.
Yeah, there's too much. It's all over my hands. It's falling all over the desk. I can't see the monitors anymore. There's just too much game everywhere.
Diablo just hits him over the wall with the Moonlight Vigil.
Wieder 4 BFX mit auch 3-0. Weil sie, also, wo ich sehen.
FaZe is just not allowed to
Hallo, wie geht's dir?
his own turrets. As soon as he does that, he seems to die.
Ja.
All right, Ram comes down, flash out from clear. Just to avoid dying to own
Passt.
gank there towards the top side, but they do get the flash. That is good news.
Wieder into Botlane, das ist so krank, ne?
This game is
I mean, okay, die Sache ist, ich glaube, die können halt auch Botlane nicht wirklich contesten, oder?
we're back to this is not a game at all.
Ich glaube, sie können nicht wirklich contesten auf Bot.
Can't play the game anymore.
Das heißt, du musst hier halt
And Diablo has taken a
geben,
significant lead. Obviously, the
alles, was quasi BFX möchte.
get even bigger. Notice he is 55 stacks ahead of FaZe in terms of that call cash in, so he's going to go to 2K ahead in just a moment here. CS lead is there for Vikla. He has his first item online. Plate gold, pretty massive here, as you guys can see. And
Ach, mit Psi wollte ich halt mal, ja, scheiße,
composition
ist zu
is not
früh.
supposed to be this strong this early.
Guna,
Well, it certainly is. I mean,
ein Idiot, mein Bett. Gehirn ist noch nicht, Gehirn ist noch nicht ganz auf der Höhe. Boah, dann schön weg und schaut mal die Items von Diablo an, das ist so gefährlich, bis ich Tode.
Jinx and Azir, two of like the poster champions for late game scaling. Even if, you know, Azir has been in a position where he can kind of lane pretty well forever. This was pretty greedy in the draft. And so BNK, even though their comp does kind of do the same thing, it's better than what T1 has at this stage of the game.
Diablo's had his role quest done significantly faster as well than FaZe, so he's starting to get even more money even faster, as that is just how it goes with AD carries. FaZe should be finishing his very soon.
Wann ist denn das Studio?
You know,
Morgen.
Back up the gold. That call cashed in I mentioned.
Morgen früh und
He is
Dienstag
on his way
früh.
to a second item very soon
Das
here.
ist der Plan.
I think with no
Sich irgendwo einschmuggeln.
Clear may be in trouble, but I mean there's not
Kein Equalizer,
next
oh oh.
way to go for this. Vikla does have TP.
There could be a teleport angle here. We'll just have to see.
Der sollte kein Teleport-Engel sein, der ist zu spät schon.
The answer is going to be no.
Ja.
Clear is just dead. Owner tanks up the turret quite a lot, but he is absolutely fine as
Good
Diablo's
dive.
behind this turret, and it's all about cross map.
Yeah.
I mean, das ist der zweite Turret für den Aphelios, right?
About you killing our top laner. If we can take the mid lane outer turret
Top
as
lane
well
outer
as
turret.
the top lane outer.
Die kriegen deutlich mehr Gold rein.
Over and
Die kriegen deutlich mehr Gold rein. Problem ist nur, der Azir ist so gefeedet.
Kind of went back to the void.
the Grubs read the patch notes and then they went and went hid away. They were like, oh yes.
Der Azir ist so krank gefeedet.
I mean, Doran has spent a lot of
Mal sehen.
the game not in his lane as well, and
XP-wise ist er trotzdem ein halbes Level down. Wait, die XP ist ja
so
krank.
just didn't end up taking them
Mitte halbes Level down, AD Carry Level down.
in this game, devoted to killing pays.
Yep. And you know what? If that's what he's going to get me.
So, jetzt danke für den Raid. Dankeschön.
He's been certainly successful.
Trotz einer erfolgreichen Solo-Session.
Complete. So does Owner though, who is pretty strong in this game at the
Fast fertiges AI. Bei Diablo wahrscheinlich in so einer Minute. Boah, geht das? Nee. Für den Drake AI fertig? Ich glaube nicht. Ja, und Faker geht noch Full Damage, da geht wahrscheinlich Shadow Flame Second. Mal sehen. Ich weiß nicht, ob sie den Fight, ist BFX klar besser? Nein. I mean, also T1 ist definitiv das bessere Team. BFX hat ja mal ein gutes Early Game gespielt. What are we doing here? Equalizer sitzt. Eingeflashte Orianna Ulti ist horrible. Es ist Fucked. Hä? Hä? Aber Freunde, euer Aphelios hat 800.000 Gold. Lass doch mit dem Aphelios spielen, oder nicht? Oh mein Gott. Oh mein Gott. Okay, und es ist over. Es ist over. Es ergibt gar keinen Sinn. Ja. Legit, warum? Aphelios, Lulu sind jetzt noch in Mitte. Also die laufen jetzt gerade. Das ist so fucking trash. Wieso? Wieso? But you're just otherwise so incredibly split. And if Diablo was not as big as he was, same with Vikla, honestly, I think there's just nothing in this fight for BNK. This flash from Diablo was amazing, but ultimately it still isn't enough to kill Pays. Yeah. As Keria hits the hook onto him and the damage is there, the zap is there, and Pays is able to take him out. So Quatsch.
That hook was enough to stop that last auto attack from coming through. So really important there that Keria did manage to hit that one. He's pretty good at Thresh, is what we all kind of know. But now the game is more even than it was before. I mean, if we look at the bell curve, Wolf, we are back in game territory.
T1 are going to take this dragon. It's their second of the game, which will put them at just a simple one dragon lead here at 19 minutes. But that's a lot of map control taken away from BNK despite those early turrets that went down.
And also there is a lot of standing gold here for T1. They've only taken the bottom outer turret. They still have mid and top lane to remove and the plates along with it. So if they are able to take some control, then it could mean that a lot of these structures are just going to go down and that gold lead could balloon. As now Doran's possibly in trouble. He's looking to try and turn this into a bit of an engage, though.
Also guck mal. Also das war eine geile Shock. Wow, das war eine geile Shockwave. Also er stirbt, aber das war eine geile Shockwave. Aber es ist, also, guck mal, das kann man wieder, guck mal, das ergibt wieder gar keinen Sinn. Dieser ganze, der Play macht mich schon wieder sauer. No joke, dieser Top-Lane-Play, der macht mich einfach sauer. Warum TPst du da so rein? Ich check das nicht. Und warum geht mein Aphelios Storm Raider Second statt AI? Hä? Alles daran ergibt keinen Sinn. Ich hasse das.
BNK are throwing this away, but they're being very sloppy with their setups here. Look at where Diablo is. Like, Faker is in.
I mean, okay, die Shockwave war geil, to be fair. Aber
but he's on the setup while they're trying to push the banana brush and look for a setup there on the corner with clear. They just left Diablo in a position where he was easily on.
I don't know.
You know, really, for what though? I mean, you can just play this.
Spielst du 10 Minuten hart into Bot rein, nur damit du es dann voll gegen die Wand fährst und auf einmal ist die Jinx 100 Gold ahead. Das ist so insane.
Massive in this game now. Yeah. And he has been for quite some time. And he's even going to get some additional gold because he's alone there on the top side right now with a big wave. Diablo has not really set up for success in that one, and it was not his fault.
Yeah, the thing that's a little bit of a worry is if your Aphelios doesn't have flash, you can't be in positions like that, right? Where things can get turned on. Plus,
or you got to be grouped around him, right? Like,
and don't engage onto an Ornn.
Yeah,
because he's pretty strong and he's a secret agent. Like, look at him. 007 there towards the top side of the map. 2 items completed. And it does have his own ornament. The Kraken Slayer is now the Kraken Obliterator here for Pays. And even more of those items are going to come on down. So you can see T1 with a 500 gold lead, something like that. But the amount of stats they have is much higher.
I've seen this before, Atlas. I've seen the, Faker might get caught in the side lane.
Oh, no.
And T1's already running up.
Surely, like, BNK knows.
They know. Everybody's got to know by now. When Faker's, like, past the equator, and you're like, I think he might be a bit too pushed up, but you don't know where the rest of the team is, just don't go on Faker. They learned, they know. And I thought we might have seen another disaster here for BNK, but doesn't happen, Atlas, and we're just going to reset back to waiting for Dragon territory here, where if T1 get this with an Ornn and a Xin Zhao, frankly, Mountain Soul Point feels...
Nun, Sentinel vs. Guys nachzuholen war eine richtig geile Series. Also war eine sehr geile Series. Geile Picks. Hin und her.
We were talking about how this composition actually gets things done in the early game, and T1's draft was somewhat greedy as far.
Was eigentlich für ein Bait? Warum? Was war für ein Bait?
We're getting towards said late game, and with Doran at level 14, he's going to.
Sag, hab kein Game 5. Achso, ja, ich hab's. Oh mein Gott. Tschüss. Ich hab mein PC zu früh ausgeschaltet. So, ich hab's jetzt hochgeladen. Also ist jetzt online, aber ich hab mein PC zu früh ausgemacht. Hex-Optics für guck mal, das, warum? Nee, okay, passt, mach Nash.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of damage onto this as well. As B&K trying to get rid of the vision. T1 not wanting to give this one up as now Ono on here by Clear. He's the one that needs to be there for the smite. So if Clear can actually get him out of here, that could be a big deal as the hook is going to connect.
Aha, Clear sehr OP. Aha, guter Catch. Oho, gutes Polymorph. Warte mal, mach mal Nash fertig. Warte mal. Gib kein 50-50, der hat noch Flash up. Bitte nicht 50-50. Diable. Nein, 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 nein. Okay. Ist Kellen gerade über die Wand fail-flashed? Kellen ist gerade über die Wand fail-flashed. Warte mal. Ey. Ihr kriegt ihn nicht tot. Renn, 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 renn. Ist okay. Rennt, rennt, rennt. Ist okay.
I say somehow. I mean, T1 had to fight without their Jinx, but still, I mean, that was a mess until it was fine.
I kind of feel like that was one of the cleanest Barons I've seen from two teams in, like, ever. But, I mean, T1 didn't have a Jinx, right? And the setup was terrible. So still not gonna have a Jinx.
Der ist schon wieder tot. Okay, also ich sag, also. Okay, ich sage irgendein Item außer Hex-Option in der Kette. Ja, hier ist Alexander, Dankeschön für den 23. mit Tier 3. Vielen Dank.
Him backing on a ward, unfortunately.
Yes, it's the pays on the map problem again.
Yeah. Keria is like, I got a lantern for him, but it's too late. Look at how they play this, though. Faker TP's in, and B&K...
I mean, der Fight-Turn ist gut. Auch das Polymorph von Kellen und so ist super.
We're not going to 50-50 this. They push on the Faker while Clear marks Owner alone, and then they turn on to Clear because it's the only option, right? T1 play this brilliantly as well. Faker's trying to find the angle. He can pull 3 people worth of aggro. He dies. And then T1 try to make this happen, right? Like they're like, I'm not giving this a 50-50, I'm not giving this a 50-50, but they're taking so much damage that T1 find the angle to go in and almost are able to deny this. Like, I feel like both teams played this brilliantly, and T1 was the team that were playing with one hand tied behind their back and yet still made it interesting.
Yeah, and that was a 50-50 in the end. As B&K are going to even out the Drakes. Oh, goodness, there is so much game. The game is everywhere.
Yeah, it's
Wie machen wir's?
33 kills as well in this game.
Yeah.
We are game
Ich habe Tolkien nach diesem Topline-Play geschrieben, ob das Ölmann nicht schon so früh reinkicken muss. Dann schreibt er jetzt gerade, war das jetzt gerade auch Ölmann oder was?
Now Diablo wants to take down the Sun Disc as Doran is going to get a nice knock up there on to the Aphelios, but his damage is actually quite ridiculous now.
Clear, mein Brother, du hast noch Flash, du benutzt dein Flash nicht. Okay. Okay. Alright. So, jetzt hat mein Aphelios halt keine LDA auf 3. Weiß ich nicht. Das ist halber. Extra bitte gleich Reset-Maschine. Ja, aber ich glaube halt, also wie gesagt, alles andere unterkillt.
He's 1,000 gold ahead as well. He has a lot to do with like global gold, but like the 0-0-10 on, who's actually doing absolutely fine.
If this was last year,
really far behind.
If this was last year, he'd have like an 800 gold bounty as well for some reason. As Doran tests the theory of like, how tanky am I? It turns out.
Bro, schon Game gewonnen? Nee, ist nur so ein Game vielleicht, aber keine Serious.
Punish him for walking up like that, and it's in fact B&K who get punished as Raptor, or rather Clear, does get taken out.
By the way, that's first strike, by the way. First strike is why Clear has the advantage that he has.
Yes.
That rune, that keystone looking pretty...
It's pretty good when you shoot an Ornn a lot repeatedly.
Indeed.
Forever. And the Ornn can't hit you first. You're the one who strikes first.
Jesus Christ.
Damage right now with his Nash's Tooth upgraded.
This is a really good position for B&K on the map. Just 4-1 with the Rumble.
By the way,
those waves.
Dude, what about, so the ornament name for Nash's Tooth, why don't we call it Baron's Grill?
Why? Oh, okay, I get it.
No, you reckon? I reckon that one sounds pretty good. As manages to get out of there. That's, that was... Diablo likes to play on the edge.
Yeah, he does.
Say that.
Was baut Diable? Runans? Ein Fiend Hunter, richtig? Warum kauft er Almin? Es ist kein Fiend Hunter, richtig? Glaube ich nicht. Wahrscheinlich Runans. Oder PD, aber eher Runans. Oder PD, beides fein. Speed ist gut hier. Weiß nicht, ob es besser ist als Lord Dominic, so wie fair, ja.
Soul point available for both teams. As this is going to be available in 2.5 minutes.
For B&K has been honestly refreshingly crisp. Like, they've played this really well. They 4-1'd for a little bit to get control over the bottom side of the map.
PD für Moonsplit, ja, aber nicht besser als LDA.
They push the Ori on the top side and the lane matchup into the Orange, so he has a ton of control there inside pressure.
Plus dann ist er schon bei 100% Crit. Overcapt er dann Crit? Oder scheißt er aufs LDA?
But that's as far as he can go because there's a Pantheon with ult up.
Nein,
So he has to kind of stop there. And
beide ADKs ohne LDA auf 4 Items. Was wechselst du da? Koreanische Liga. Koreanische Liga läuft gerade. Die Lulu ist halt auch da. Actually, wait. What the fuck? Also, Kellen ist halt auch sehr OP. LCK, ja, ist wie gesagt Koreanische Liga. Guter TP.
And T1 don't seem too worried about it. Teleport is going to come on through, though, as Diablo is going to get missed because he does have his trusty minion in the way. Manages to take down the inner turret. Nicely cross-map. Like, this is what BNK have been so good at this game, and that is keeping T1 honest with their plays. As Doran going to look for a knock-up here.
Lol.
Doesn't quite have
Lol, geil eingeflasht. Wow, sexy. Wunderschön eingeflasht. Kellen, Fläche über die Wand, weiß ich jetzt nicht. Diable. Diable. Oh mein Gott, er kriegt die noch. Okay. Sexy. Finishen die? Nee, oder? Finishen? Nee, die finishen nicht. Nee, das Cap oder nicht. Nash. Ich dachte, der Affairs ist es komplett runtergerannt, by the way. Geil eingeflashte Combo, aber. Ich dachte, der Affairs rennt komplett runter.
Is at the initial part of this fight, it looks like T1 might be able to buy some space back here. Vikla and Raptor set this up though.
Schön.
Shockwave. Baker is dead.
Geiler Play.
Damage gone, right? Then the Wild Growth buys some
Lust like T1 raus? Ne, ist Double Limb.
Can't really be hit by anybody. Diablo's like, I guess I'll take.
Wow, ey, dass er da noch, also.
He cleanses and takes that extra shot and they
da noch irgendwie das 1-for-1 rauszuholen. 5 Aliens with 5 Aliens, we don't usually see that. Yes, sir. Oh, 0 versus 0 in LDC.
Yeah. Man, Diablo's cleanses have been just incredible this game. Every time, it looks like he doesn't get CC'd from the death sentence. The one towards the top side of the map was a little late, but that one was perfect and made sure that he went 1-for-1. T1 is still going to be able to get the Drake. Yeah, it is a 5,000 gold advantage, and Baron goes over to BNK.
Rapid Fire.
So this could mean
use
this Baron in order to get an insurmountable lead. There's
I guess.
On the Diablo is very
Range Disadvantage ausgleichen. Oh nein. Oh, insane Ulti von Kellen. Bro, insane Ulti von Kellen. No cap. Diablo hielt sich hoch. Diablo. So ein fucking Alien. Wow. Sofort die Lulu honoren. Sofort die Lulu honoren. GG. Wow.
This was a lot of game. This is the kind of game where when Alexis is supposed
GG.
to truly say GG.
Yeah, we might need to do that. Let's
On-Items sind so circa 1000, also sind etwa 1000 Gold pro geupgradetes Item, also 5000 Gold auf Level, also wenn alle upgraded sind. Geiles Game. Super High Pace. Geil.